When I first came up with the X-Men, my biggest problem was I wanted a team of superheroes, and I figured out who I wanted. In the original team, let's see, there was Iceman who could turn into ice. There was Cyclops with the power of his eyes. There was the Beast. There was Marvel Girl. There was the Angel who could fly. The thing I loved about the Angel is when he was dressed in clothes, he'd wrap his wings around him and put a coat over it and you couldn't see them. And there was Dr. Strange. There was Professor X. Well, my biggest problem was, how did they get these superpowers? I had already run out of people being bitten by radioactive spiders and being subjected to gamma rays and cosmic rays. And I took the cowardly way out. I said, I'm just going to say they're mutants. We all know there are mutations in nature. So these people, they were just born that way, and then I don't have to come up with far-fetched explanations. Okay, so now I had my team. But who are they going to fight? I figured it would be fun if these mutants were good, but there were also a group of evil mutants who either wanted to take over the world or something similar. Then I thought it might be fun to get an analogy with the way some people are picked on by bigots and are persecuted by bigots. I thought, here are characters who are going to look different, who are going to have certain strange powers. What if the human race is afraid of them, hates them perhaps, and prosecutes them, torments them? What if the evil mutants resent the fact that the human race doesn't trust them, and they want to strike back, and they feel they are Homo superior as opposed to the human beings who are Homo sapiens? However, the good mutants feel we've got to learn to coexist with the human race. We've got to help them and show them that they're wrong about distrusting people who are different than they are. And suddenly I became really fascinated by this because I could see there was such a parallel between things that were happening in society and these stories that we were trying to write. And that's how it all happened. The Fantastic Four were a simpler group. They didn't carry as much extra baggage somehow as the X-Men. The Fantastic Four were four people with superpower, and they were using their powers to help the world, and most everybody thought they were heroes, and that was it. The X-Men were much more complex. The very people they were helping were always turning against them. So they not only had to defend themselves and hide from society, but they had to defend themselves against the evil mutants. So they had a much tougher road to hoe than the Fantastic Four. Of course, I love all the X-Men. Maybe I was specially drawn to Professor X because I thought of him as being a little bit like me, because there he was trying to teach them all, and mostly I didn't pay much attention to him. No, I'm only kidding. I liked him because I felt he was one of the most unique superheroes also. He was in a wheelchair. He seemed to be and was pretty physically helpless, and yet there he was with the most powerful mentality on Earth, with the ability to do so much with his mind, and he was trying to guide all of these younger X-Men. And incidentally, the name of the book, The X-Men, it was taken from two sources. One, because his name was Professor Xavier, and two, because I thought of them as a group with extra powers. So the X and extra, the X and Xavier, I came up with X-Men. But that was only after my publisher had told me he hated the name Mutants, which was the first name I had wanted for the group. He said to me, Stan, nobody is going to know, none of our readers will know what mutants are. So he didn't want that name, so I came up with X-Men. he okayed that. And I used to wonder to myself, if nobody's going to know what a mutant is, how is anybody going to know what an X-Man is? But I didn't want to make an issue of it. We had our name, and I just let it go.